Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin, editor of Rapzilla.com, and I am privileged to have before me one Rapzilla freshman, Thomas
Mhm.
Iannucci, and special guest, Sonny
Oh, yes.
Sandoval from Payable on Death, aka P.O.D,
Yes,
aka
sir.
Rockstar for a very long time, um, and somebody that I've enjoyed his music for a very long time.
Thank you,
So,
brother.
Thomas, you have your album. It's already out on Kickstarter, and it may be already out by the time people are watching this, and it is called
Hmm.
Doubting Thomas. And
Yes,
this
sir.
is this is your grand opus of a project right now,
Yes,
fresh off
yes,
of your
yes.
your second Hawaiian Grammy win. Um,
Very blessed, bro.
yeah, you've had a big year. So
Dude, for real.
let's talk about this record. Let's talk about how you guys
Cool.
know each other. Let's talk about that single Rage.
Mhm.
Why are you guys here together? What's going on? Let's talk about the music that you guys made.
Yeah, man. Well, I will say that I have actually known Sonny for, I don't know, bro, kind of a long time, huh? Like
Yeah.
whenever, like, right, like a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and you met my dad. We talked about this the other day through Pastor Leo Giovanetti,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad's a New Yorker as well, so super outgoing and he introduced himself and then they hit it off. And then through my dad, I met Sonny and our families are pretty tight.
Mhm.
And the cool thing about Sonny that I think is not that known, bro, but you're part Hawaiian, right?
Yeah. My
Yeah.
grandmother on my father's side is from. She was born on the main island, but the
Uh,
Big Island, but she was raised in
yeah.
Maui.
Ah, see, so Sonny had that low-key Hawaii connection,
Oh yeah.
grata status. So this was just a matter of time, because it
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
out all the time. So it finally made sense. We got a good Hawaii song, good
Yeah.
Hawaii connection. So we're pretty stoked.
But so you're saying, um, you met through your father, Thomas, but
Mhm.
but where? Where like
Uh,
where like were you in Hawaii, Sonny, or
yeah,
like
yeah,
was it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I want to say it was so long ago. I think your dad. He
Mm,
was speaking at our church a long time ago, and
mhm.
and he wrote that book. So I remember
Yeah.
I read that book and I was intrigued, by his story as well. And then, married a
Right.
Hawaiian lady. And
Mm,
so I think when that's the first time I met him. But then when I went, I want to say, see, my daughter was born in 2000, maybe 2002. When I went over to Oahu,
yeah.
him and your mom flew out to just hang out the
Yeah.
day. And every time we would fly into Hawaii, because they were on Kauai. And then we would, wherever we would go, they'd always fly in and we'd spend a day with them, just hanging out and
Mm,
catching up. And then the last time you were still you were still a
yeah. I
teenager, I
was.
think, but my sister
Yeah.
got married almost 10 years ago. And your
Yeah.
dad married my sister and my
That's
brother-in-law.
right.
And we,
That's
we
right.
all
That's
hung
right.
out. We hung out at the youth group
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right, dude. That was
Yeah,
crazy, man. We were so
he
hyped.
was young. Yeah, I'm old, man. So see,
No, no,
I'm friends with
no,
his pops,
no.
but we became, we're all
Yeah,
family. You know what I mean? Hawaiian family.
yeah, for real. Ohana status.
Yeah, yeah.
How did the song Rage come about with you two getting together? And obviously you guys aren't together, which I know technology affords us that ability
Mhm.
to create songs
Mhm.
wherever. But what was that back and forth like in creating this song?
Sure. So I can take the first half of this and then how I got it to Sunny, and then he can run with it from there. So, Rage, it was written by some local boys out, in Big Island and Honolulu. And it was produced by his production team, the Brews, and the thought process behind it was that Hawaii is like the mecca, right, for like island and reggae and that kind of stuff. And my friends had kind of been like, dude, I feel like we could write something like this. Like we grew up in this. You know what I mean? But they never got around to it, and then they finally did, and they thought that they had something special, and they were like, okay, so who do we know who would be kind of a good fit, because they're not performers, they're songwriters and producers. And so they came to me. I was working on this album with the Brews already. So Chaz, one of the Brews, took it to me and he kind of pitched me on it. And honestly, bro, I was pretty skeptical because I'm not really a singer. Like, I'm definitely a rapper, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like a Post Malone singer rap vibe.
Mm.
And I heard it and I knew it was really good, but I was just kind of hesitant. Like, I don't know if I could do it convincingly, but they were really like, come on, just try it. Just send us some vocals. Let me see if we can make it sound good enough to you. You know what I mean? And just take a chance. You know what I mean? And so I did, and they did, and it sounded pretty cool. So we started to realize we had something kind of special, you know. And so we were trying to think, okay, who is the right fit for the hook? And the first person I thought of was Sonny, but I never said anything because I was like, I don't know. You know, I've been wanting to work with him for a long time, but you know, I never wanted to be that guy. Like, hey man, like, yeah, I'm doing music now. You know, like, you want to check out my raps, bro? You know, like, so I always thought, I was like, I'm not ever gonna be that guy. So I never bugged you or anything, you know. But so I just was kind of thinking in the back of my head. I was like, okay, you know, maybe God willing, like a miracle happened, but he would have to really open the door, you know, for that to happen. And so we're kind of sitting on this, and we approached some other, you know, local artists, and timing wise, we just couldn't make it happen. You know, things had kind of not ironed out right, and I don't know, just doors, you know, were closing, and things just kept leading back to Sonny, and I was like, I don't know, like, you know, because again, I don't want to ever put him in a spot where it's like I send him this terrible song, and he's like, you know, I love you, man, but I gotta pass, you know what I mean, or something like. But I was like, dude, I think we have something special here.
Yeah.
And I know Sonny loves reggae from like way back, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay. All right, I prayed about it, and I kind of felt him out, and he was open to it. So I sent him the song, and yeah, dude, you know, I know you, I assume you liked it. You could just
no,
be
I
very
loved
nice.
it. He's Thomas sent it to me, and then he said, I have a track for you to jump on. And then once I heard it, I said, well, what do you want me to do? Because it sounds like a hit already. You know what I mean? It sounds great. And then he said, well, we would sing over the parts where I think the producers, they sang it as a rough track. And I said, well, dude,
Right.
I wouldn't change anything. I like the way it sounds already, you know. And then you told me that that they didn't want to use their voice, so we needed, yeah. So I said, cool, let me, you know, and like you said, bro, it's easy nowadays. We have the means to record vocals anyway, super easy, you know, and we just plug in, and I really just sang kind of over the rough track and just added my little thing to it and sent it over, and I said, hey, I hope it sounds good, and they heard it, you know. I mean, the song was already there, bro, you know. But when Thomas hit me up, I have a song for you to hear. I thought it'd be a hip hop track, and then when I heard the reggae vibe to it, I was like, oh, this is a good direction for him to step into.
I wanted to throw everybody off because I was like, okay, I'm like rap, you do rap rock, so that's what everyone would expect. But I'm like, we should just come out of left field and do something fire but super different, you know?
Yeah, it's catchy.
Yeah, I should have changed the question. I was, Sonny, what's it like to be Thomas's last choice after everything?
Shut up.
No, man,
I have to work up the courage.
Bro, I'm glad it worked out because Sonny, it really does. That hook sounds like something that is for you. You know, on those more like light P.O.D. songs, and even songs maybe that are later in the band's career, like just those light that rage, and you have that those nice harmonies and stuff like that. I mean, I thought it was a great pairing of you guys, and it worked. It works for sure.
Dude, he made the song, bro. He made the song.
The song existed already. I just got to jump on it. That's all.
Yeah, I remember Thomas messaging me. He's like, yo, I got this rough draft of a track that I just did with Sonny. And I was like, what? I was like, okay. Okay, there you go. Making moves. So Sonny, where are you at with Christian hip hop? But aside from Thomas, are you familiar with it? Do you know too much about what's going on?
Not too much. I mean, as far as you know, some of the old school guys that I know that are still doing it, like I knew like Doug, you know, Crumb, like back when they were doing stuff back in the day, AJ, like a lot of the old school guys. I just recently met Andy Mineo, which I love. He's and so I started to listen to a lot of their stuff. Yeah, I met Lecrae years ago. We were actually at youth outreach, and I wasn't familiar with him or his music, but I actually watched him teach, and he was he was preaching, you know, to the kids, and I said, dude, this dude's legit, you know. So we were hanging out in the green room, and then he said, dude, would you like to jump on a track? I was like, heck yeah. So I jumped on one of his records like 10 years ago.
I was gonna say, dude, that joint was fire, bro.
Yeah, yeah, and that had a little reggae little twist to it as well, you know, because I think it was Benja and those cats down from Florida, and they produced the track, so it had a little bit of a, you know, Miami reggae flavor to it. But who else? I've kept track of that, or that kid NF. I mean, obviously guys that kind of crossed over into the mainstream. You know, I see them only because I see them on certain festivals and stuff like that, and a lot of times people come to me and say, hey, did you know so and so was a Christian? I was like, oh, no way. So that's more of my world, you know what I mean? The guys that are serving the Lord and being excellent, and then they're crossing over into a little bit of the more mainstream light, and then able to be themselves in that mainstream.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the music scene in San Diego is crazy. Like there's so many punk, especially early 2000s, late 90s in Christian music, all these punk bands, all these rock bands, all these rappers.
Yeah.
I remember you had Dogwood, nice punk band. Pax 217 was doing the rap rock thing with you. And there's a lot of who's in San Diego now. Thomas, you got Ruslan, right?
Ruslan, I know Ruslan.
Jerry Script.
Yeah.
I mean, San Diego is just an amazing scene. So on that tip, I wanted to ask you guys, Thomas, we spoke a little bit 2 weeks ago about the diversity in Hawaii and, race and culture and just everything going on. And San Diego is a lot like that too, where you just kind of have a mix of everybody in there. So do you guys feel like Hawaii, San Diego, like there's a lot of commonality there, as far as creativity, as far as culture and different things going on? Like, I feel like that's a bond you guys can share.
I think Sonny would know better than me because I've only been to San Diego a few times. I visited you guys one time. We went to Noah's house, I think, did the Bible study.
Yeah. Kauai is definitely more laid back feel, but I mean the Aloha spirit is like none other, you know what I mean? But Waikiki in Oahu reminds me a lot of San Diego. So that's why if I ever go to Hawaii, I don't stay in Waikiki because it's like
you just feel like you're at home.
I mean, aside from being the island, that's about it. It's kind of got that tourist vibe, the hotels and the ports and all that stuff. But whenever I would go over to Oahu, we would always hang out in the North Shore because we have a lot of friends. There was another punk band called Olivia, and they were from remember Olivia? They came over to the States and did some stuff. They were Christians, believers. They played in a punk band. But then most recently, we started mostly going to Kauai just more for the vibe. But we're a big melting pot of people, But we're here, the West Coast. The next island over is Hawaii. So you got the same kind of vibe. We're all mixed. We're the border town, the melting pot of cultures and people. So San Diego's always been kind of cutting edge, or I should say Southern California, you know what I mean? From here to LA up into Frisco, so many groups and bands and artists have come out from the West Coast.
What are your initial thoughts on your project, Doubting Thomas? It's coming out or it's out, depending on when you're listening to this. You have your song with Sonny. You have a lot of different people on this album.
Yeah.
So what's kind of the overall message and the vibe that you're trying to throw on this record?
Sure. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say all of us have been through a lot this year, just with everything. And I definitely have getting married in December, but that was canceled, put back on like a billion times. We parted ways with our restaurant and even the stuff in the year leading up to that. My dad had cancer for the second time, and thank you, Jesus, it's gone now, but it was just a rough, couple of years. And in that mind state, really forced to lock in my faith, and also do a lot of soul searching and just self-reflection, And so like a big thing that I realized is that mental health is not a joke. and it's something that needs to be talked about. We see it like there's some tweet going around, and I actually don't think it's 100% accurate, but something to the effect that like, you know, the suicide rate is like way up right now during lockdown. And that is definitely true. I think the figure they cited might not have been correct, but it's way up. A lot of people struggle being alone. They struggle in that silence. They struggle with the fear and the anxiety and the doubt, you know, and so for me, doubting Thomas is a play on words, right? You know, like St. Thomas the Doubter and me going through my own personal doubts. But I just wanted to kind of share with people, it's okay to feel doubt. That's a part of faith. You know what I mean? If it's just a blind faith where you never wrestle with anything, you never ask questions, then, you know, it's not really a very alive faith, alive walk. You know what I mean? Like you really gotta wrestle like Jacob did with God. You know what I mean? And he's okay with answering those questions. He's not afraid of our questions. You know, he loves us. He's not gonna punish us for asking God why. You know what I mean? He wants to work with us through that. I think a lot of us are kind of asking why, and so just encouraging people to not feel condemned, you know, about their doubts, and encouraging them to seek out the Lord, and also on the other hand, just the mental health and mental wellness thing, like that's okay. You know, I think as men, I should say, at least in Hawaii, I don't know exactly how it is on the mainland, but I'm sure there's a lot of similarities. We're really encouraged to suck it up and be strong and not share, and you know what I mean? Don't show weakness, that kind of stuff. And, you know, there is a time, place, you got to be strong in certain areas, but the idea that you can never break, you can never let anybody in, you know, that's why you see, you know, so many of my friends have committed suicide or are in jail or are hooked on drugs or heavy drinkers, you know, because they don't know how to deal. They don't know how to regulate. They're trying to self-medicate, right? You know, and so realizing that, I mean, yes, we need Jesus. And also we need to open up about this more, have these conversations. That's kind of my heart for it is I didn't want to do it in a way where every song is, you know, all about, you know, faith and mental health and like super in your face and on the nose, you know what I mean? I do touch on these things, but what me and the Bruise tried to do is like take an album where almost everything stands as on its own, like as a single or whatever, like Rage, you know, but sequence it in a way where it creates like the ups and downs, the experience of struggling with depression, because you can have really high highs and you feel great, and then at the next moment, you know, you feel really low, and kind of like capturing that sonically and mentally and emotionally, that experience. And you see the songs have like little subtle things, like with Rage, you know, it's about, in Hawaii, you know, rage isn't like a super angry emotion. It's like, like we call a party a rager. You know what I mean? Like, I had a fat rager, it's really mean, you know, or yeah, we're gonna go party, we're gonna go rage. So the idea behind that even is like, in the dark times when you're feeling down, just rage on, like push through, you know, keep that positivity, keep that message, even if it's not super blatant and in your face. That was kind of the heart behind the whole project.
No, I look forward to hearing it in its entirety. Thanks, I mean, bro. I've heard all of Thomas's stuff before, and he's always been sending me things for years, and you know, been enjoying what he's doing and watching him grow.
Thanks, man.
In his music, yeah. So it's cool to be a part of it.
Yeah. So maybe, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Sonny, but maybe talk about that, like from the first music that you've heard from Thomas to where he's at now, to even working with him. Like, what's some of that growth and some of that thing that you've kind of seen in his evolution?
I think I mean, that's what you want to do in music, you know. I think you know, we put ourselves out there as artists or musicians, especially vocalists, you know, because it's like, even now I've been doing this almost 30 years, and every time I get behind that mic in a studio and people are in there watching, it's like, you never go in there with this full confidence of like, oh, I've done this, I got this down. It's like it's like walking into a room naked, you know. You're exposed, and it's like, okay, this is what it is, and you put your heart out there, whether it's vocally, you know, trying new things, you know, lyrically, everything. You're trying new stuff. So I've listened to Thomas's stuff coming up, and I've seen the growth, not only intellectually with lyrics, but even I think with this song and the way he kind of described, there's a maturity even in you know, even in our faith and in our walk. You know, as believers, we want to be real. We want to be vulnerable and approachable. We want to be all things to all men. A lot of times with Christian music, everything is so, sing a joyful noise unto the Lord. Everything is, even in people in the church, like everything's okay. You act like everything's okay because you think you're weaker, or you're lacking in faith, or you're not as strong as a believer as this guy over here. And so there's kind of this false illusion that's been going on in our church for so long. So I think it's okay if you want to relate to people, you have to be honest, and everything I think Tom's talking about, and even some of the other songs I've heard online, it's just honesty. We have faith. We know, we have our identity in Jesus. But this is a walk. It's a journey. This is not for the weak-hearted. Like
real, bro.
We know what it's like to follow Jesus. We pick up our cross and we follow him unto death. It's not always just the highs. There's a lot of lows in our walk. And so I think a lot of people, not only does the church need to hear it, but the world knows that you can be real and still, and follow Jesus and still question a lot of things and still have your doubts. But at the end of the day, it's what keeps us moving forward. We know where the victory is.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
And thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. No, I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, man.
You've influenced my music in a big way, bro. I gotta say, man. For real.
That means everything, man.
Man, Thomas, I'm proud of you too, man. You made that Rapzilla freshman list this year. And
that's so cool, man.
You got voted in. You got the fan vote, and I've always pulled for you for the last couple of years. And you got in, and I was like, I told the team, I told Chad, I told everyone, I was like, watch, Thomas is gonna get that vote. Watch. And you got it. And I was like, yes, you didn't let me down. All right, Sonny. The last time I spoke to you, I think it was not when your last record came out. The one before. The name's escaping me right now. Not Awakening.
Awakening. Yeah.
The Awakening. I spoke to you when that record dropped, and I had asked you then about there ever being a hip hop album just by you. And you told me that there was a lot of people that would love to see it, but you were kind of just like waiting and biding your time. So did that time ever come? Is that ever going to happen? Are we going to get the hip hop album where you can feature Thomas? You can get the feature from Thomas.
Well, now's the time to do it. Actually, I think the reason why this whole COVID and quarantine thing actually got me writing a solo reggae album. And it's very more, kind of hip hoppy. There's certain things that obviously has a hip hop influence. But I think Thomas, I had hit you up to see if Dondi can drop some female vocals on a track, and then it wasn't much too longer after that is when you hit me up for this track. So we were just sharing the love, back.
I know.
But then
that song was sick, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
But I did a couple tracks. Like I've been doing verses for friends here and there on some of their albums, and then my boy Q Unique, he was in a group back in the day called the Arsonists. He's done a bunch of stuff. He's a Brooklyn kid, hip hop, old school kid, Zulu kid, and so he's been sending me beats, and we've been going back and forth with verses and stuff like that. And so I think even in this hip hop solo, I think there might be a couple. In my reggae solo, I might just throw a couple like hip hop tracks, but almost kind of like. I think the song we did is a little bit more poppy. I have one, which is catchier. I think I have one right now. It's hip hop. It's all hip hop verses, and it's just kind of straight ahead, just old school.
Like that Nas, Damian Marley.
Yeah, that would be sick. Yeah,
dude, that was hard, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sonny, did you just give me an exclusive right now? Have you spoken about this to anybody?
I've been telling people I've been messing with some reggae stuff, but the hip hop stuff I really haven't. Like but dude, I have fun whenever someone asks me to drop a verse, like I really enjoy it. You know what I mean? I love hip hop music, so I really So we'll keep things going. Like I said, it's easy now. We turn on the computer, load up the mic and just go.
Yeah. That's dope. And you got Dondi involved too. See, he got you back, Thomas. You saved him for last, but then he hit you up to ask about getting your sister on the track. So you guys are even. You guys are good now.
Thomas, I was wondering, I got this new song. Okay, I'm listening.
Like,
would you like to ask Dondi if she would sing on it?
Hit up Dondi for me.
Yeah, you have to speak to her agent. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know. I am her agent.
I thought you were her manager.
See, that's how you know it's all love. It's all family.
Yeah, man.
But
yeah, dude, this guy's family, bro. Like family, man. I love this guy.
So Thomas, I don't know if you've looked that far yet. I know you kind of shared with me a little bit kind of your plan, but what's after Doubting Thomas? What's next? What are you trying to do?
Okay.
Or do you not want to tell me?
No, I can tell you.
I'll be good with Sonny telling me about a hip hop album if you want to save this story for later.
I'll tell you. I'm working on a new project right now with Enzo Grant. Yeah, dude. It's about, I gotta send you guys that too. It's about like 60% done. All the demos are done. Bro, that thing is so hard. It's like more like Hawaiiana style, like, but yeah, that thing goes hard, bro. Like it's like kind of a, because you know what I kind of touched on a little bit in Kuleana, right? About how like, you know, Hawaii is not just paradise and there's like a whole other side to everything. So this one I really get in depth, and it's a lot more gritty, you know. It's got some cool collaborations on there and stuff like that I can't get into yet, but yeah, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super dope. What's the ETA on that?
Well, I was talking to Enzo not that long ago, and we think we could probably get it done in the first half of the year, so maybe by the fall.
Okay.
Probably by the fall, yeah, if everything goes smooth.
Yeah, so you space your projects out like a year in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about you, Sonny? I know you got the reggae thing going on. What about P.O.D? What's going on with you guys? And I guess I know you guys are road warriors. You guys are road animals.
Oh, I know, dude. You guys tour like crazy.
You spent a lot of family time this year catching up, I'm sure. So like, what's your year been like, and what's the future of P.O.D look like?
Yeah, no, it's been great, man. I mean, you know, when we first were told, you know, oh, you guys have to stay home, you're gonna be locked in your house for 2 months, I was like, thank God, you know, that's praise God, man, that's awesome. You know, but then, you know, after 2 months goes by, and then all of a sudden it's like we, you know, thinking, you know, we'd have some kind of answer. You know, it's now that we're towards the end of the year. It's a little bit more frustrating because this will be the first time in 28 years, you know, that we won't play a show this whole year, which is insane. So, and you know, if you look at some of the stats, like, you know, at the end of the year, like we've been in magazines and websites where it's like P.O.D is always been like one of the top 5 bands that tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this will be weird. I think the last show we played was New Year's Eve 2019. And so
you just missed out. You just missed out on that one show for 2020.
Yeah, see? So we'll maybe it's technically playing because we played over into the New Year, so maybe it still counts. But in the meantime, we're writing. Next year will be our 20th anniversary of our album Satellite, which will tour all around the world. Yeah. So we're already planning for that. But we'll see. I mean, we have dates on the calendar, but we're really just at the mercy of what's going on in the world, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. And I'm sure you guys are going to come to New York for that tour.
The plan actually was, I think we already set it aside, was 9/11.
Right, that's when it dropped, right?
In New York, yeah. And want to do like a smaller club where it's just totally intimate. And we'll be playing the record in its entirety. It's gonna be fun. Yeah,
I'll be there.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, we'll hang out, bro.
I'm in Staten Island, so wherever you're at in New York City, I'll come find you.
Good.
Hopefully we're out of this thing, man.
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah,
dude.
that would be crazy. I remember that, like when you said it's going to be 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like drop. I said, it's going to be 20 years 9/11. I remember the album dropped on 9/11.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
So next year, 20 years.
I can't believe it. You know, is there anything else you guys want to talk about as far as collabing, as far as the music goes? Thomas, anything you want to say about your music?
Oh, just I was gonna say we're gonna have the single officially drop because we're pushing it like radio stuff right now. But we're gonna have the single come out Friday, December 11th, and then the album comes out the week after, December 18th. Yeah,
okay.
So that's gonna be cool. Otherwise, I don't know, man. I'm good on my end, Sonny, unless you can think of anything else.
No, man. Just send me that link so I can hear the whole record, you know?
Bro, I will.
Yeah, me too. I need a new link. I was like, all right, I'm gonna dive into this album. I mean, it's my fault. You gave me like a 2-week head start with that link, but me, I'm just like, I didn't have time. I was like, I got it now, and then it's never there. It always happens to me. Or like the WeTransfer. People send me WeTransfer links, and I was like, I finally have time to check this out, and then it expired. I'm like, yo, can you send me that new link? And they're like, I sent it to you a month ago. I was like,
I'll just send you guys a private SoundCloud link or something.
I'm not the only artist I'm talking to.
I know.
I got a lot to listen to. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Sonny, it was good speaking to you again. I look forward to talking to you again in the future, man.
For sure, man.
Hopefully that New York show is where it's at.
Yeah. We'll get together.
You gotta film that thing, dude. That's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
We're gonna do that.
That's what's up.
All right, Thomas. I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, love you guys.
Peace, guys.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. Shoot.
See you,
later.
Bro.